Mr. Terrific, Year 1, Issue 6, Al Letson writing with Valentine de Landro and Edwin Galmon on the art. I don't know if I'm supposed to say the L in the Galmon or if it's just like gammon because like salmon has the silent L. I don't know. I'm conflicted. But anyway, so final issue of this, and unlike the previous issues, it does the present day part at the end of the issue, which I think makes sense because obviously this is the ending. You kind of want it to come out. I think the idea that all of this was him telling this story, his origin story to his son, I do actually like that reveal. As much as I've kind of complained about the opening segments being the parts that I don't like very much, I do actually like the framing device that this has all been him telling his son what his origin story is and you know how it all came about. And then the origin itself obviously has been really fun. Art's been great. This, you know, fighting this Prescott lady who's now like souped up on like dark side energy. You know, so we get this big fight taking place. She's yelling dark side is, as you expect. We got all the Kirby crackles kind of around her. Like, I mean, her hair is literally Kirby crackles in this form. So yeah, all that's fun. And they go off to like, because she flies off and like, oh, she's going to Prescott building because it's Prescott. I recognize her. So, you know, we run there. We get some cool moments here where we actually see Terrific do the whole thing where he grabs onto one of his these T-spheres and like goes down. I almost called them balls there because that's what Black Lightning kept calling
T-balls?
them. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Terrific, spheres. Your balls are really cool. I like your balls a lot. Can I play with your Mr. balls?
Terrific, your balls are showing.
Your balls are so big and advanced.
Yeah. So real quick, enough of the ball talk.
Yeah.
Did you take this when so Athena gets to the portal, right? She opens it up back at Prescott Towers. And who steps through is Granny Goodness.
Yes.
So has that been the voice the whole time that's been talking to her? Or was it Darkseid originally? Because now I'm having doubts. I'd have to go back and check the previous issues. You know, but if they told me that it was Granny Goodness the whole time, you know, in prep for Darkseid, I would believe it. And it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I don't think
I want to make sure I'm understanding it right.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I never thought about it. Honestly, I thought it was Darkseid up until
me too. Granny
Goodness steps through the portal. Now it's her. Like, I thought it was still Darkseid, the one that was telling her stuff. But it could just be Granny Goodness the whole time, just in place of Darkseid, and it still works because she's still doing it for Darkseid. Yeah. So
absolutely. But that was just the thing, because when it wasn't Darkseid that was stepping through, and it was Granny Goodness, I was like, no, of course that makes a lot of sense. You know, Darkseid doesn't do everything. He doesn't get his hands dirty all the time, right? So he has his whole inner circle for it. But
yeah, so this whole Nexus engine thingamajig has all been about you know, making a sort of secret boom tube to Apocalypse for Darkseid to invade Earth. So Granny Goodness comes out, and you know, the parademons are there, and it's worth mentioning that Black Lightning, who's with Terrific, is like, hey, that's parademons. That's a portal to Apocalypse. We have to deal with this. And it's like, oh, is this what you deal with when you're doing Justice League stuff? And he's like, yep, this is exactly what I deal with when we're doing Justice League stuff. So let's do this. So we get some action here. There's some T-sphere stuff, and you know, it's really playing with the colors here. The art is pretty gorgeous here, actually. It really it's just so nice and flat and inky.
It looks like what is that, vaporware? Is that style from the 80s? Right? With or vaporwave rather. With the pinks and purples and yellows and magenta, like it gives that very kind of almost like an 80s tinge to things. Yeah.
So they basically make the engine explode or implode on the other side, on the Apocalypse side. That's Terrific's plan. He neutralizes some of the gas because he had to make that antidote for it, or that thing that would suck in the radiation from this engine from the Gotham incident. So there's some stakes here because it might blow up and like take out half the city. It's also really fun when like Granny Goodness, like she has that panel where she's calling them worms and scum, but she's split down between two panels. I really like that because it was kind of showing you the balls in the second one, so it gave you this sense of like sequencing of like she starts her sentence, but as she's talking, the ball comes in behind her. Like, because you could have just done it in one panel. You could just had one panel with her face, with that speech bubble, and the ball, or the T-sphere, I should say, sorry, going behind her. But by doing it into this split into two panels, it gives you the idea of the ball doesn't go past her head until halfway through what she's saying. So this is really nice. This is a nice little bit.
Yeah. And they, it implodes and they save the day. And it's Mr. Terrific's first adventure.
Prescott gets pulled into the portal. Granny Goodness grabs onto her legs and pulls her back, and she's like screaming for help as she gets dragged in, which is important because afterwards he mentions that he went to pay respects with all the heroes, talks about the JSA a little bit, and this was him, basically his coming out party to the superhero community, and all of a sudden he's part of them. And then it kind of turns into, you know, like, your mother died and Granny Goodness was secretly behind it. She made it look like an accident, but you did not die, and that's why I never knew about you. I like this part at the end because while fair play is obviously not a completely new thing to us, and when I say to us, I just mean in general, like, he's been brought up before. I like that this is sort of like explaining what his origin is at the end here, because I don't even think I could have told you why I didn't know about him until I read this. So so nice.
But I remember him showing up in Flash, right? I remember that being a plot point. Which is I do remember that part.
Yeah, there's an editor's note here saying, see Flash 799. So it's a weird place for me to show up first, to be honest. But you know, like, I do like this ending here of it tying into like him explaining his backstory to his son and how it ties into his mother's death and like how he became what he is. Also, Fairplay seems to be good friends with this Hellhound, who's quite obedient to him, so that's fun. But Prescott shows up, comes out of this portal underground, which is kind of what's been causing all the commotion. So, and terrifically offers her help, says, Athena, let's get you home. And she's like, I don't need your help. This is all your fault. And kind of, you know, powers up and says she's going to find him and she's going to have a revenge, which sounds like it's setting up either a sequel series or another book of some kind. You know, it doesn't feel like it's just been thrown out there for no reason.
Yeah, or something along the lines of we'll see with the New God shenanigans, right? Wherever that goes, you know, and this whole, you know, the KO of it all. You know, that's where I felt like it was not exactly KO itself, but in a kind of post Dark Side kind of world. Like, where does this pop up? Because we see that when they go to visit the mom's grave, right? Fairplay's eyes. It's Jeff, right? Yeah, the kid. He's got Omega symbols in his eyes. You know, well, so something's not right.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I also just kind of took that as this because he grew up there, basically, right? Because he was he's got a bit of a Mr. Miracle style origin, perhaps. So he's got the Omega energy in there. And then the other part of obviously the Prescott tease at the end is that Mercy goes to recruit her for Lex. So and they're in Pennyworth Park, which is a nice little touch. But because that's what they did with that land that got destroyed in the backstory, in the year one story, they turned it into a park and called it Pennyworth Park, which is really nice. So this was the part more than anything, though, that I think made me feel like it was setting something up. Now, maybe it is more part of a crossover or part of an event or something, but either way, it doesn't feel like it's just been thrown out there for no reason. It feels like, no, this is too specific. Mercy's here to recruit her to work alongside Lex. That feels like it's very intentional, as if they know what they're doing with this in some form or another soon.
You feel like she's Nexus energy now, right? And Lex was starting his own Nexus through this story, right? He was trying to figure out the Nexus engine on his own.
Yeah, he was trying to.
Yeah. So but no, really, really good stuff. I really like the way the art changes too, where it goes from DeLeandro to Galmon on that page. I thought that was real nice.
Yeah, when it switches to him and his son. Yeah, it's a nice.
That was good with the white background where they take the full focus.
Do you know what I think it is that all the stuff in the present day before this issue, it was just kind of him fighting and like, you know, a monster, and like it was kind of mindless action that didn't really have much context. Right. This part in the present day at the end here felt like, oh no, this actually has a lot of context because it means something. He's been telling the story to this character.
Absolutely.
So
and I like that twist on it too, because then it made all the you know, okay, so I went through all of that, so it's about his son and he's going through the story here, you know. I like that. I like that it makes you look back at the earlier parts differently.
Yeah, and also I think goes a little bit of a way to like making Fairplay feel like more of a character, because he's like, you know, he's I mean, not that he's been a huge character in this book per se. It's only a little bit here at the end, really. Obviously, we saw him at the end of the last issue as well, or at the end of the last, the last present day bit anyway. It feels like it's like, okay, they're establishing what his relationship is with his son, because up until now they felt kind of disconnected when they should obviously feel related, literally related. So it's nice that they're actually kind of starting to explore that a little bit, and maybe this will lead to some more stuff with him in the future. But no, yeah, it was good. I mean, this was a good year one story. I mean, the only real complaint I would have is those opening sections of each issue up until this one, which was the present day stuff, just been kind of like a few pages of whatever. But all of the actual year one story was very engaging. The art was excellent. Yes, and it really fleshed out, I think, Michael Holt as a character.
For sure. I've been recommending it to people when they would come out of Superman being like, oh man, Mr. Terrific, right? And there's not a lot of stories that I can point to that are like great Mr. Terrific stories. So now I'm glad that there is one. I was like, hey, it's a couple issues in, go track those down. Like digital makes it a lot easier too, and go read those, because we're getting a really good Michael Holt story. And, there's even some references to his character, I feel like, that were in here a couple issues ago. So, to that version that's in the Superman movie. So, this is going to be a fun one, to be able to like, to hand someone that wants to know more. I always like when we get those kind of stories.
Yeah, because obviously it's really easy with Batman or Superman and some of the other big characters. I mean, even Flash and Green Lantern, though, are kind of tough, because I feel like they're good comics are all big runs. Like, it's harder to recommend that to a new person who's not really read a comic book that much before. But Batman and Superman have got a ton of like, no, this is just a fully self-contained story, maybe of their origin, maybe not, but either way, there's a lot of easy to recommend ones. So it is nice to have one for Mr. Terrific to be say, hey, this is a self-contained Mr. Terrific story. In the same way that, we have Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow for Supergirl now, and, one or two other ones. It's nice when some of the characters that aren't the big 2 or 3 get that chance. It's nice that, because I feel like, unfortunately, Superman's year one is not good, because Wonder Woman's year one is great. Batman's year one's obviously the story that started the year one trend. We're doing Batgirl year one for Patreon. That's great. Mr. Terrific year one's great. Like, there's a lot of good year ones. I guess the Flash is the other one that's a bit weak, because that was like near the end of Wilson's run. That wasn't very good. Yeah, that sucked. But that's fine. Let's talk about that one. Right.
Yeah, but we have, we do have Superman Birthright. That is effectively a year one.
There's other that are effectively his year one, but the one that's called year one sucks and should not be recommended. He's got like 4 good year ones, to be honest. He's got tons of them.
Yeah.
If anything, they've overdone his origin story like too many times, because there's actually too many good ones to recommend.
For sure.
But anyway, Mr. Trevor year one was great. What are you giving it, Matt?
I'm gonna give this issue an 8.
I will. No, I think I would go 8.5 on this one as well. I think I like this. I won't quite go to the 9, just because it is a lot of action. It's good action, but it doesn't really hit as hard as those first couple issues did, where it was really setting up the character and how he feels about his wife having been dead for a year or two or whatever it is. I thought that stuff was really great. But this was good stuff, though. This was really good stuff.